an applause. I want to say good morning. And para mi gente que se habla español, buenos días. Everybody can say that. All right, now I just want to make sure I can get on my computer. Bear with me. We're there. Okay. So, as Dr. Sutton said, instead of bringing somebody else in today, you're stuck with me for the next long while. So I hope you guys are okay with that. Are you sure? If not, you can, But I just wanted to say that I am honored and humbled to be here. I tried to greet as many of you this morning, hugs, handshakes, just good morning and how are you is so important. As Marcus said, he learned the key factor, which is building relationships. So today's title of the presentation is DEIB and SEL, Better Together, in Chester Upland, but in life overall, okay? So I would like to start with this quote. The quote says, no matter where we come from, there is one language we can all speak and understand from birth, the language of the heart, love. If you agree with that, can you clap, please? So you guys know me as Ms. Bowser. I am the Director of Equitable Learning and Support now for the Chester Upland School District. But who am I really, right? Who are you? Who's the person next to you? I hail from Brooklyn, New York. Some of you may have known that or may not. I did not have the greatest childhood, and I'm being very vulnerable right now. There was a lot of dysfunction. And when it was time, what got me through my childhood was the arts. And those of you that have seen Chester's Got Talent and working with Dr. Bradley and all the amazing music teachers, the arts is what got me through. When I am upset, when I was angry, I have no brothers and sisters, I'm an only child, so I wrote it on paper. And I started writing poetry, which led into songs. And that is how I got through my childhood. But when it was time for college, I was like, where do I want to go? And how did I make that decision? I explored colleges all over the place. As a matter of fact, I got accepted on a full scholarship to the University of New Mexico for tap dancing. Who knew that, right? But I was like, is that really where I want to go? I'm going to be far away from my family. I didn't know, but then when I stepped on Temple's campus, I just was like, TU? Can I get a TU? For all my hootie hoot owls. Yes, I do have some former classmates in the audience. But when I stepped foot on that campus, I just felt like I belonged there. I felt like I belonged, but I was scared. I was nervous. I was like, this campus is huge. I'm gonna get lost on the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth year. With all of the changes, it was really confusing to me. So I was excited, but I was scared. Are any of you in the room right now feeling kind of nervous, anxious about the start of the school year? Raise your hand. So I'm gonna ask you really quickly, and I want you to shout it out. One word, how do you feel right now? I hear a lot of excited, that's beautiful. But yes, it's really important to know how we are feeling. So I went off to Temple, I got my bachelor's in education. I started my teaching career, I'm not gonna tell you when, at William Penn High School in North Philadelphia. That's no longer there. Some of you may not have known that about me. I was a high school Spanish teacher. And from that day, I was only maybe 3 or 4 years older than some of my students. That was awkward, right? And that's when I got my nickname, Senor. They didn't say señorita, they were like, señorita. But anyway, I'd say that to tell you this really quickly, and then we'll get into the presentation. Another sense in my life, I was like, am I going to belong here? Are they going to accept me? Are the students gonna look at me like, who's this young girl trying to teach us? Or I turned it around and said to them when I was standing in the front of the room, I said, you're probably looking at me like you're only a few years older than me. What are you going to teach me? And I said, instead of thinking it that way, think of it in a few years from now, you could be standing where I'm standing and doing what I'm doing. So So I want you to give yourselves a round of applause because you guys were in that position at some point, and some of you today. At that point forward in William Penn High School, we had fights, we had students getting in trouble, we had students coming in with these looks on their faces, and if I could only dig into their soul, and that's where my love of DEIB and social emotional learning started. Back then, the term SEL did not exist, but when I saw Lionel, may he rest in peace, one of my students, who's the class clown, come into my classroom with a sad look on his face, I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. I said to him, I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm here for you. I got you. He just looked at me. And then he came back during his lunch period, and he was like, how did you know? And I said, because I take the time to get to know my students as their whole self. It's not just about a student in the classroom. It's not just about a science lesson. It's not just about a math lesson. It's about building these relationships and knowing who is in front of you. It is so important, but not just for the students, for the staff. Can you honestly say, if you look to the left and right of you right now, that you know that person? You may think you know that person, but do you know what they went through during their childhood? Do you know what their ride was like into the office this morning? Do you know what they're feeling? And it's so, so, so important. To the point where, I just want to share this with you. Lionel found me years later. He sent me a message, not anonymously, but like those secret requests that you can get when you're not, on social media. He sent me a message request, and he said, Ms. Bowser, actually he said Senorita. He said, you have no idea what an impact you had on my life. When I sit here in dialysis with stage 4 liver cancer, you were one of the people that I think of. Unfortunately, about 2 years ago, Lionel lost his life to cancer, and I will never forget him. But that moment, that connection means everything. And on a positive note, I was just recently invited to one of my former high school students' 40th birthday parties. So, let's flip it around. But the bottom line is, and I didn't want to be all melancholy and somber, I just wanted to make you understand and start off somewhere. So, I want to practice something with you. There are many times in our lives where I say, I don't fit in. Our students, you, the person sitting next to you, and that light that's inside of us, it dims. So we're gonna practice this. And somebody make it a prize or a handshake or something at the end of the presentation. So I say, I don't fit in. My light is dim, okay? And you guys say, I love you, I got you, you shine from within. You got it? All right, so let's practice. I don't fit in. My light is dim.
I love you, I got you, you shine from within.
All right, one more time, a little louder. A little louder. I don't fit in. My light is dim. I love you, I got you, you shine from within. You got it? All right, I'm going to be testing you throughout the presentation. Anytime you hear me say, I don't fit in, my light is dim, I need that response, okay? You got it? All right. Now, who are you? Some of us have sometimes felt like we have to be somebody we're not in order to fit in. Have you ever been in that situation? Raise your hand. It's okay. Whether it's a professional setting, even if you're going on a vacation or whatever the case may be. So this is really interesting. The minute you come into this world, you are loved. There goes that L word again, loved. What is used to identify us when we first come into this world? It's this piece of paper called a birth certificate. Do all of you have one? Okay. But did you ever stop and look at what information is on a birth certificate? What are some things on a birth certificate? The day you were born, where you were born, your parents' names, Hospital, right. So basically facts. Did you ever see on somebody's birth certificate descriptors like gifted, tall, pretty, heavy, or clumsy? No. So how do we acquire these labels, and what do they do for our sense of belonging? Okay? Self-reflect for a minute. I want everybody to close your eyes, and I'll be looking. Just listen to this. Don't fall asleep though, because I'll come over and tap you on your back. So take time to self-reflect as I read this to you. Labeling affects the way children see themselves. The way parents, teachers, or other students or adults label a child can have a lasting impact on how that child thinks of him or herself. When a child has been labeled, that label will become part of his or her or their identity. He, she, they may carry this with him, her, them for life. Open your eyes. Now, by show of hands, have any of you ever been labeled? Okay. Have any of you ever labeled someone, whether you did it subconsciously or not? Let's be real, let's be vulnerable, and let's be honest. Yes. Have any of you ever read a chart or documents on a student and had this preconceived notion about what this student was going to be like before we even met the student? Yes, I see a lot of yeses. Yes. So sometimes we do it subconsciously, right? So how many of you have ever been on an airplane or on a bus or something and you see somebody walking in, or you're just in a restaurant and you see somebody walking in and automatically our mind starts working. Oh, look what they're wearing. Oh, this person is this. Oh, look at that couple over there. They're on their phones the whole time. They must not have a good relationship, right? Does that happen a lot? I hear it does. Trust me, I'm an observer, I know. So labeling can be detrimental to the life of someone. There's something called the secondary effects of labeling. When you call somebody something enough, like that father that says you're never going to amount to anybody, you're not supposed to go to college, you're supposed to work for the family business. What happens is you start to believe it, and then your label defines you. And we don't want that to happen. We want everybody, regardless of who they are, where they're from, what they're doing, what they look like, what their skills are, to feel like we accept them and they belong. Now, the labels we carry. How do we belong if this is how we are viewed? Can everybody see okay? Watch this. powerful. So he's walking around with all these different labels: loser, unfixable, nerd. And the minute that somebody labeled him as, say it again, love, what started to happen?
He spread it.
It superseded, right? All the other labels dropped off of him. And then what did he start doing?
Sharing it.
He shared the love. There goes that L word again, because guess what? I don't fit in. My light feels dim.
I got you. You shine from within.
Good job. We'll be experts by the end of the presentation. Very good. Now, how many of you have ever studied Maslow before? Psychology, education, everybody. I had to throw something like this in here. But what I didn't realize, because that was so long ago, when I went for my bachelor's in education, yes, we have our biological and psychological needs. We need to feel safe, we need to be fed and clothed, but so many of our students don't even have that. So how can we expect them to fit in and exist and feel like they belong in a school if when they walk through the door, they're worried about how they're going to eat when they get home tonight? Or maybe they're not. Maybe they don't have a place that they can call home. I mean, overseeing McKinney Vento and homelessness, you have no idea. Well, you're going to learn, because I'm going to be at each of the schools this week talking to you about that and the statistics of how homelessness is on the rise and the definition of what homelessness is. And then you have your safety, but look what is dead smack in the middle. Love and belonging. Love and belonging. Friendship, intimacy, family, connections. That is key to getting our students forward. And of course you have esteem and self-actualization as well, but I just wanted to show that as a visual. Now, it's time to close your eyes again. Take this in, okay? Children develop a sense of belonging through their needs being met, their thoughts and ideas being responded to, and their identities being affirmed and acknowledged. Before anything else, children should feel as though they belong. It is the first and most important step on their learning journey. Now, keep your eyes closed just for a minute. Our students, if they don't feel like they belong, are they going to want to come to school? If there is a teacher that makes them feel like they don't belong, are they going to want to be in that class? If there is a security guard that always gets on them or calls them out for no reason, are they going to want a relationship with that person? And this goes for transportation, food services, security, nurses, psychologists, everybody that I can possibly think of, administrators. We need to start with this sense of belonging and foster it throughout the school, because that's the way that we're going to be able to move forward. Okay, you can open your eyes. Now, this is alarming. This is real Chester Upland School District data from the surveys that were completed. One of the questions, this is grade 3 through 5 we're talking about, is I feel like I don't belong in this school. Ladies and gentlemen, over half of our students said that they feel like they don't belong in our school at some point. So what is that telling you? Something needs to change, and we need to find out the why behind it. But if we take the time to get to know our students and connect with them, and we greet them at the door when they come into the school and in the classrooms, and we get to know them, and that's real. 45% never, the rest of them said at least at some point, sometimes, and always. I mean, you have 17% saying that they always feel like they don't belong. That's not okay. Moving to secondary school, grades 6 through 12, very similar statistics. Only 48% said that they never feel like they don't belong, but more than half said they feel like they don't belong at some point. So this isn't data that I got off of a website somewhere. This comes straight from our students. And I wanted to share this with you because it's a wake-up call. So here we go, the term, DEIB. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. I'm not going to define it right now, but what I'm going to do is tell you what it is. Diversity is a fact. We're all different, right? In some way, shape, or form. Ability, background, socioeconomic status. Equity is a choice. Equity is a choice. Inclusion is an action. But guess what? Belonging is the outcome. I want you to repeat after me. Diversity is a fact. Equity is a choice. Inclusion is an action. Belonging is the outcome. Now, forget the term. There's so much political politics going on with this term, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. So we're going to forget the term right now. The question is, do we believe? Okay? Do we believe, ladies and gentlemen? So yes, that's my handwriting. I was trying to figure out how to do this in a way that it made sense. So, instead of diversity, I want you to say, we believe on 3. 1, 2, 3. We believe in the presence of differences that may include race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, ethnicity, nationality, economic status, language, ability, age, and all that other stuff. We believe in diversity. Instead of equity, we're going to say, we believe. 1, 2, 3. We believe in promoting justice, impartiality, and fairness with the procedures, processes, and distribution of resources. Instead of inclusion, we're going to say we believe. 1, 2, 3. We believe in the action to ensure that those that are diverse, which is all of us, actually feel and are welcomed. Okay? On 3 again. 1, 2, 3, we believe. We believe. Good. After all, close your eyes, it's quote time. I know I'm making you guys, I'm doing this on purpose, so if you're feeling sleepy, you wake up. Close your eyes. Brene Brown, love her. She's a phenomenal speaker and her thought process is amazing. True belonging doesn't require us to change who we are. It requires us to be who we are. Take that in for a minute. True belonging doesn't require us to change who we are. It requires us to be who we are. Open your eyes. I don't fit in. My light feels dim. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, take a look at this picture really quickly. I just wanted to give you a visual. You have equality, equity, and the solution. In the first one, all of the little boxes are even, so it's equal, right? But the little person on the end can't see. The middle one, that's equity, because now everybody can see, but there's still something, they're not equal. And the last one, the solution, is to remove the barrier. I think that's a very powerful image for you to get to see. All right, now, social emotional learning. I said to you earlier, and every time I see you guys, I always ask you how you are. And some of you answer honestly, which is great. And I was even vulnerable this morning. And I said that I had a great summer, but a lot of things have been happening lately. And that's opening myself up to getting to know people and to get to know the staff, okay? So, as we said, you never know what somebody is going through and how that affects their sense of belonging anywhere they go in life. And that's how SEL and DEIB are intertwined. So take a look at the image. The suffering you see above the surface, but guess what? The suffering that's never talked about underneath the surface. And that's gonna lead me into this next video. I know some of my new teachers already saw this, so I apologize for showing it twice, but it's so powerful. I really want you to take a look at this. You only only understand people if you feel them in yourself. Parents argued last night and Dad said he's leaving. Working 2 part-time jobs to help family with rent and food money. Mother's in the hospital for serious illness, no one else is at home. Works nights at fast food restaurant and keeps falling asleep in class. No food at home, can't wait to get to school to eat breakfast. Recently threatened with firing if test scores don't improve dramatically. Just accepted into college, first one in the family. Girlfriend is pregnant, considering dropping out to work. Tore his ACL in practice. Universities are withdrawing scholarship offers. Staying in a house with no water or electricity. Adult son was injured in a car accident and needs a daytime caretaker. Wants to go to college but can't get his parents to complete the FAFSA. Overwhelmed with grading, schoolwork, and graduate school. Family car was stolen from the driveway last night. Had to wear the same clothes 2 days in a row and afraid that people will notice. Physically abused by a family member. She claims she fell. Daughter diagnosed with an eating disorder. Husband just lost his job. Just learned family is moving out of town. Received text threats to beat her up after school. Father was drunk again last night, never attends his games. If you had knowledge of another person's experiences, what they see, what they hear, what they feel, would it change the way you respond to individuals? Okay. Thank you. I did that. I was trying to find things that would open up some people's eyes. I know you guys see, but when you see it like that, you can really see it. Like, I'm looking at Mr. Frazier right now. I don't know what he's been going through. Part of me knows some things that he's been going through because we've spoken about it, you know? Marcus I talk to all the time, even though he's graduated, like checking in on people, right? You look around the room, you know, one thing I do want to say is this, and I don't want to be the elephant in the room, but guys, Chester has been going through so much. There has been so much loss lately, and at this moment, I just want to take a moment of silence for Ms. Norman and for all of the students and family members and community members that we've lost. So let's take a moment of silence. Thank you. If I could wrap my arms around all of you right now, if I was like Inspector Gadget and could say, go, go, Gadget, you guys remember Inspector Gadget? Go, go, Gadget arms. I would hug all of you right now because our community has been through so much. and I don't want to get personal, but I've had 9 losses over the past 4 months and 3 funerals in 1 week. It is not easy. Seeing family members, seeing students, seeing teachers, it hurts. And especially in my role, I try to be as strong as I can for everybody else. But please know that it hurts, and I have feelings too. And it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to say how you're really feeling. Students and staff are going to walk into the buildings this year, and we need to be extra welcoming and show extra love, because there has been so much that we've been going through as a community. Yes? I don't fit in. My light feels dim. Okay. So to turn it around, it's not just about that stuff. It's about celebrating accomplishments. We have some amazing administrators, teachers, workers, staff, TAs, everybody in this district. And we need to celebrate these accomplishments. Can I get a round of applause for that? You all deserve it. And when I say accomplishments, I don't mean winning the Grammys. I mean getting up in the morning and walking through the door of the school building. Yes? That's an accomplishment, ladies and gentlemen. Remember your why. Remember your why. This is a very difficult job, but it's gratifying at the same time. We need to lift each other up. If you see that staff in the hallway and they don't look chipper like they normally do, are you okay? One of the things that I love to say is, and this is my therapeutic background, is I hear you and I'm listening to you. What can I do to support you? That could be said from anybody in this room. Okay? I know I'm not Superwoman and you're not Superman and we're not superheroes, but to some of these students and some of these staff, we are. We should feel like superheroes because we are superheroes. We can't fix everything, but we can certainly try to be there for each other. And this is where our sense of belonging comes in overall. My little image there. SEL and DEIB, better together. So let me break this down. Separately, they are important, but together, they can help change the world. Using the skills taught in SEL, the different competencies, to manage our emotions rather than react or shut down during tough conversations around DEI and other things, we can make actual progress in equity and betterment for all. So here's the analogy. If SEL is the tools in the house or the classroom, then DEI is the house or the classroom that we bring those tools into. You got me? Yes. Okay. Now, you see Ms. Bowser's handwriting all over this slide. Because so many times, yes, we're about the students, but we're also about the staff as well. So that's my writing. When students and staff feel safe and supported, they are truly ready and able to learn, teach, and lead. And of course, I had to add Dana Bowser at the bottom of the poll because I switched it up, because that's so important. Now, you might see some familiar faces on here. So you've been hearing me say, I love you and I got you. As I said, we had some tough loss throughout this year. And one of the things I've been doing is working with some of the teachers, working with some of the students, and working with some of the athletes. And this is just a quick snippet. I want to show how powerful this can be when I did a session with the football team. And you'll see what this does for them. So this was after there was a major tragedy, and we had to bring everybody together, right? And I love how they say Chester on 3, family on 6. I'm gonna start using that a lot now. So when I count to 3, I want you to say Chester on 3 and family on 6, because that's what we are. Ready? Everybody put your hands in. I'm gonna make you move around a little bit. All right, ready? On Chester on 3, family on 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 5, I can't even, I'm so excited I can't even count. All right, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. All right. Now, everybody stand up. Stand up. Get close to the person next to you. Let's not get too loud. We only have 2 minutes for this. Everything that we say, I want you to look at the person next to you, behind you, and everywhere around you, and I want you to say, I love you and I got you. And give yourself a round of applause. Have a seat, guys. One more thing. All right, if we can bring it down real quick. So I told you guys, and you see how I'm gonna say like I say to the students, can we take it down, please? So I have to hold up my fingers. So I would really like everybody to pay attention to this. As I told you all, what got me through my childhood was writing. When I'm thinking about something, when I'm passionate about something, I write. So what did I do this weekend? I wrote. So if you can, I would like all of you to close your eyes and visualize this. And I know I keep telling you, but I feel like you can hear the words and see the words better. Okay, this is a poem entitled Tapestry of Belonging. And it's an original work by me. All I want is to belong. I question myself, is that so wrong? How I look, where I'm from, and my ability, I have the right to be the true, authentic me. As CUSD backpacks packed and spirits high, we in our designated roles step onto the edge of why. Remember our passion, our purpose as we mingle in the mix. Hugs, handshakes, smiles, welcome to Exit 6. Each whispered name, a thread we weave. In this shared space, we dare believe. In classrooms bright, the future song, we find our place where we belong. The gentle nudge of kindred souls in every story that unfolds. ELA to music, math to art, we share our dreams. In every challenge, a bond redeems. The bell will ring, the days will flow. Through trials and tribulations faced, together we grow. With each shared laugh, each tear we shed, we heal together, our souls are fed. So here's to the friendships yet to bloom, to the hearts that gather in every room. With open minds and hands outstretched, we find our home, a love that's etched. As pencils scratch and voices blend, we build a circle where all can mend. A tapestry woven of diverse threads. In this joyful journey, our hearts are fed. Together we'll learn, I appreciate you, we'll say. We accept everyone in the beautiful chaos of each and every day. See pride guides our spirits, shining bright like the sun. We find our belonging, our hearts beat as one. Thank you, everybody. I just want to take a moment to say to all of you, I love you and I got you. I hope you got a lot out of that presentation. You are all welcome here. Let's welcome our students. Let's welcome our staff, our smiling faces. right. Have a great school year, everybody. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Now speaking to anyone that is not alive, I'm speaking to a live audience. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Mumeen, Dr. Sutton, our lead cabinet, board members, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak this morning. I won't be before you long, I promise you that. You know, most times when people say that, they're long-winded, right? But I won't be long-winded. We're going to get right to it. Dante Bell, Athletic Director here at Chestnut School District, Director of Athletics and Activities. Privileged, thankful for the opportunity. What I want to share with you is a brand new year. Clap it up for that. It's a brand new year. Now, the reason why I say it's a brand new year, because a lot of us, and I might step on some toes today, but that's okay. And I'm doing that on purpose because it's meaningful what I'm about to say, right? If you're living in last year, it's time to move on. Okay? If you're living in last year, it's time to move on. If you're living with the same mindset of Dante from last year, it's time to move on. Okay? I got 3 points for us. We're gonna move on. Say 3 points. That's not good enough. Say 3 points. Say 3 points. Yes, yes. Shout out to the football program who won on Friday night. I didn't even think about the game, 3 points. All right, here we are. The first point, you matter. Say you matter. You matter. You matter. You matter. Look to the person to the left and to your right, say you matter. You matter. Yes, you matter. Here we are. Listen, Linda, look it. You impact, say you impact. I don't hear you loud enough. You impact. You impact. Okay, you matter. You impact. You influence. You matter. You impact. You influence. Okay, here we are. That's how we set the tone. When you go in your classroom, that's how you set the tone. You understand? You set the tone that way you demand it in your classroom. This is my classroom at the moment, so I demand it. Amen. Okay, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright. You're like, who is Mr. Wright? When I was in the 6th grade, there was a coach by the name of Mr. Wright. He was a phys ed teacher. Now, you can see how short I am as a man, so imagine how I was in elementary, right? All right, that was too many laughs. So here we are, Mr. Wright. He walks up to me, he says, LaDante, listen, you're the point guard. That's probably the only thing I could play at the time, just short. You control the ball, you get the ball over half court, you pass it to your teammates, let's make a bucket, let's score. What I'm trying to tell you is that Mr. Wright believed in me when I was young. He believed in me, so that tells you that he was my 6th grade basketball coach, but 5th grade, 4th grade, he was watching because I was trying out. And by the time I became in the 6th grade, in the 6th grade, as a player, Mr. Wright giving words of encouragement, never spoke negatively to me, never did any of those things, always a positive person, Mr. Wright. Then when I get to high school, his wife is teaching me in typing class. And I'm like, wow, Mr. Wright, that was my teacher. Yeah, that's my husband, she said. Same type of demeanor. Just always teaching, always supportive, just thankful. I'm really encouraged by what Marcus stated about it's more than sports. It really is more than sports. What goes on in the classroom actually happens in on the court and on the field. If the young man or young lady knows how to read, knows addition, knows math problems, knows science, these things help them in wherever they play their sport, right? But Mr. Wright, I want to share and suggest that there's somebody in this room, I understand that your name is not Mr. Wright, but you are who you are. And someone is looking up to you. Say you matter. You matter. Not enough, I hear nobody over here. Say you matter. You matter. Thank you. You're why. In my office, I laminated a piece of paper, made it real cheap, didn't put no frame on it. But I put on my wall, why? Every day I go into my office. Bless you. Every day I go into my office. why. And I encourage that you do the same. When you go into your classroom, you should have a why in there. Understanding that it is your student, but that's your why. When you wake up every day, your why. I'm gonna be honest, I thought about every last person in this room this morning, over the weekend, because I was given this task to speak. I'm in the gym this morning, what do I say? I believe it was given to me. One of the things given to me is the why. As we, as educators, I don't care where you are and what department, you are an educator. Say that for me. I am an educator.
I am an educator.
If you are custodial staff, if you're at the front desk, young people are listening, you are an educator. Your why. We're in the business of education. We're in the business of young people. That's your why. This is something that I speak to myself all the time. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. And I'm gonna tell you right now, we're very energetic. Right now the cup is full. Right now we're excited. Before our sports fans come fourth quarter, exhausted. More complaint than praise. That's when we got to go back to, maybe I'm not full. Maybe I need to get poured into. Maybe I need to speak to a colleague that's going to encourage me, because you matter. You have impact. You have influence. Over the summer, working out with some young ladies on the basketball program, working out with some young men. Very careful to listen. And I'm going to tell everyone in this room, including myself, it's not what you're saying. It's your example. In your classroom, the first thing that a child will look at, who's my teacher? How do they respond to me? What is the relationship? I hope I'm not getting in trouble for this, but your curriculum means nothing if you don't have a relationship. Let me tell you, when I was a health teacher, okay, yeah, I studied the text, but that didn't matter. Who was Mr. Bell? Who was Coach Bell? Built relationship for 2 weeks, intentionally sitting in circles, talking to kids, putting on some music that they can listen to, not curse words, but listening to music. And like, all right, what did you do this summer? What do you like to do? Intentionally building relationships. That's the charge, that we build relationships. Yes, we have curriculum. Yes, there's a test that we have to get to. But before that, will they listen? And if you haven't built a relationship, chances are that answer is no. So here we are. What do we see? You see it blank, right? Come on, I'm not talking to myself. What do we see?
Blank.
Yes, blank. Here we are, new year. Again, if you're thinking of last year, I'll give you a challenge and a charge. Let it go. Let it go. Because Bowser just spoke about young people having long days before they even touch the threshold of your school. Let it go. Last year was last year. This is a brand new year. How about smile? Not, oh, there he is again, or there she is again. Let's smile. Blink. So here we are. If you get this, make sure you see me. The first to get this, make sure you see me after this presentation. Yes. Come on, somebody. I like to be engaged with the audience, yes. Yes, sir. Paint your own canvas. Baldy, make sure you see me after this presentation. You get a cash out, sir. Listen, this is something that I did when I was a health teacher. This is something that I did as a health teacher. I would always get the mind to think first thing when they came into the room. A do now, right? I need you to put it together. Paint your own canvas, paint your own picture. How many new teachers do we have in the room? Let's clap it up, let's clap it up. Congratulations and welcome. You had the opportunity to paint your own picture. How many teachers been here for 10 years? Raise your hand. Awesome, congratulations. How many for 20? That's beautiful, young lady right there raising her hand. All right. Coach Bernie. How many for 30? 25. 25. The price is right. 25 to 30. Congratulations. 30 years. Wow, congratulations. 35 years. 30 to 35 years. Congratulations. 40 years. Nobody 40 years. Who said that? Congratulations. Let's clap it up for her. Congratulations. 40 years. Awesome. The reason why I asked that is this. It's over 100 years of experience in this room. The one thing that I will say to you as a challenge, don't think you know it all. There's someone next to you that knows something that you don't know. Be a sponge. How is it that we as educators want students to sponge, but we don't sponge? Leaders read. Leaders are readers. Leaders are teachers. But there are students like a Marcus who we can learn from. That young man spoke relationship. And so here it is. We got to come into this year and paint our own picture or paint our own canvas. I gave out some, or I asked, Mr. Wilkins, thank you so much. I gave out some Legos. If you had a Lego, I asked that you participate, come on down to the stage, put them on the stage. If the kids gotta do it, you gotta do it. Come on down. Now, as you come down, make sure you stack them, please. As you come down, please stack, please stack, please stack, please stack, please stack them. They should all connect, please stack them. You must stack your own piece. All right, let's bring it back in. If you hear my voice, give me one clap. If you hear my voice, give me 2 claps. If you can hear my voice, give me 3 claps. Yes. Thank you. Let's bring it back in. Now listen, there was a reason for you having those pieces. So what I need you to know is, first and foremost, clap it up for yourself for just being a listener. Right? You had a piece, and you had to put that piece and connect it to someone else. I need us to know that's the mission that we ought to have. There's something to learn from one another. The connection is real. Look at what we built by what we had in our hands. By yourself, you had one individual piece. And with that piece alone, it was just a regular piece, right? But together, look what you built. That's the mindset we ought to have. That's the mindset. Bless you. When I was a football coach, I had to really sit back and think about the game. Understand the game, yes. But knowing that there were 11 intricate parts that had to come together as one for a goal. If you think about the parts that you had in your hand, that you had to come together to build, that's what the mission is. If you think about everything that's been said already today, together, thinking about others, thinking about yourself, right, is a bigger picture. And all of us are part of the bigger picture. Like, man, what do you got salt for? You talking about blood pressure? What are you talking about? All right, the salt. Who in here likes salt? Everybody hands should have raised. Everybody know they like salt. Right? Seasoning salt, Old Bay seasoning, Caribbean food. You know, went to Jamaica and said, give me all the salt you got. Right? Yes, salt. But let me tell you something about this salt. You and I are salt. This young man spoke about people that have done what? Changed his life. What is salt? A change agent. Your food went from bitter to flavorful. As a teacher, a child comes into your classroom. You have the opportunity to build, mold, season that student. That's why you matter. That's why you have impact. That's why you have influence. You are the salt. If a child comes to you, I'll speak for myself. If a child comes to me and I left them how I found them, I did them no service. So if a child comes to you, thank you, Marcus, you humbled me with your speech. If a child comes to you and they're the same way when it's time to graduate, shame on you. Unapologetically, shame on you. Because we are educators, right? Teachers. You know right now there's one student that will run to you because you have a major impact in their lives. And it might very well be that same student that drives you crazy. You like, oh my goodness. Same student. But at the end of it all, when the superintendent says, well done, at graduation, that child comes running up to you, emotions flow. Right? You are the salt. Hold on to that. You are the salt. You are a change agent. Next. Light. Kids have a full day before they come into the threshold of Chester Upland School District. A full day. Some watching siblings, some having to be the parent, and when they come to school, I think it was shared in that video, some haven't eaten, some haven't, completed hygiene, and when they come to you, come to your classroom, your office, in the building, you have the opportunity to shine light. I expect that when I have an encounter with you, what can I learn from you? I'm expecting to see a light. I'm expecting to see someone change the way I think of something. That's what Mr. Wright did for me. When I didn't think that I could, he turned it around and said, yes, you can. I need a circle like that. And I'm telling you right now, a student needs a teacher like that, that whenever they encounter you in your class, you shine a light to wherever they feel dark. If you hear me, say I can. I'm sorry, if you hear me, say I can. If you hear me, say I can. If you hear me, say I can. If you hear me, say I will. I will change my students this year. I will change my students this year. I can. I will. Thank you, sister. Thank you so much for that. I want you to pay attention to this. And I'm not just saying that to have us to just listen to one another. You got to really believe it and mean it. I want you to pay attention to this. Almost done. Now, that was a dad, and that was his daughter. The young lady said, I'm gonna push myself, right? We have something that we can learn from anybody. I learned from that video. There are times that you and I, we're gonna have to push ourselves. Tired. Yeah, clap that up. Yeah, encourage yourself. We're gonna have to push ourselves. Tired, I have family, and I also have a classroom. Classroom's done, I gotta get to my family. Yes, we have a lot to do. But I tell you, if this is not spoken to you, you might not do it. But I'm here to encourage, push yourself. Speak over yourself. Now having a good day, speak over yourself. Go to somebody that will speak over you. I'm gonna tell you, I don't like negativity. I start hearing negative things. Have a great day. I ain't laughing. I meant that. And I'm not apologizing for it. Because it's draining. Listen, sometimes I got my own stinking thinking, negative thoughts. I drain myself. So I don't need you to drain me too. Right? So therefore, I gotta find somebody that's stronger than me. Come on. I'm speaking to my wife on yesterday, and I brush ideas off her all the time. Like, hey, what do you think about this? And she's just listening. And I'm thankful that I have a wife that listens to me, because we know that sometimes, it get a little crazy, right? Let's be real, we genuine, and I'm 100%. But last night, having this conversation, she's just listening to my presentation. So thankful. But we need we. I hear a lot of I's at times. And being able to lead a football team at one point, the guys will tell you, never wanted the light. Never wanted to shine. I'll throw somebody else in front of the camera because I can't do it without you. Listen, you're no teacher without a student. Right? We need each other. We need we. And we don't express that enough. Every coach appreciates you, needs you. Because the students that need outlets, they need you to be the very best you can be. The superintendent needs us to work as hard as we can to bring our district back up. Tired of the naysayers, right? We need we, okay? Say that, we need we. We need we. I'm almost done. In fact, I think I am done, right? We need we. I tell you, every time I talk to someone, I'm always listening on one, how to encourage myself from what I'm listening to, and also how to return the encouragement. I don't like negatives. I really don't. Can't apologize for saying that. When I encounter you, and this is a charge as your colleague, I always want to be uplifted. Experiencing young men and young ladies who are already in hardship and then turning around to colleagues who are bringing negatives doesn't help us in what we're trying to do. It doesn't help the mission. It doesn't put us in drive. In fact, it puts us in reverse. Some of us are even in neutral. We got to get out of that neutral space and drive. Let's be driven when we teach this year. Let's be driven when we speak to our students and student athletes. Let's be driven when we speak to our colleagues. Let's encourage one another. My last slide. 3 points. They are. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. So we're going to start over. You what? You what? You what? You matter. You impact. You influence. This is what I've learned in the space that I'm in right now. I don't go to the coaches and ask them too much how their day went. I run right to a player. I'll go to a player. That's accountability. Because if they're not having a good day, that tells me something. I got to talk to the coaches. And if the superintendent or the principal goes to the kids and says, "How was your class?" This is something that I learned. I said I'm gonna step on some toes, but that's okay. Accountability. If you're in an uproar because you got to get an evaluation, that's your fault. You're a teacher. I told coaches when I was the head coach, I said, you got to talk to me about, no man, you said you're a coach, go coach. If you're a teacher, be a teacher. If you're an educator, be an educator. You don't cut that off. You can't cut that off. Whether you speak or not, you are an educator. Well, let me see how Coach Bell just handled that situation. He just got cursed out. Wow, he didn't say nothing. My wife heard it, but nobody else did. That parent was very disrespectful in my classroom. How does Coach Taylor respond to that? You are teaching. That never cuts off. You are always on as an educator. Always. No getting around that. It's kind of quiet in the room. I knew it would get to that point. But that's okay. Because that's what you want. We want to be data driven in some capacity, right? When I go in my classroom, I want to see that my student athletes, my students are excelling. But we don't want to be held accountable when the evaluation has to come. Let me hurry up and do this lesson plan. Well, if you're going to rush the lesson plan, chances are you're going to rush the kids to learn it. Chances are they ain't learning. I'm only saying what I know. I'm not saying this at you. I've been through this. You know, some people used to look at the phys ed like, man, that's just phys ed. No, it's not. Do you know that someone can pass out on your watch as a phys ed teacher? Immediately? Run 2 laps, no water breaks, pass out. That's serious business. But in the classroom, there's a rest period for the heart. The child is resting and learning. But in phys ed, they're running. So there's a quick chance of something wrong that can occur. And all of that. You impact. You have impact. You have influence. You matter. At the end of the day, I challenge you to have one kid run back to you and say, I appreciate you for all you've done. I challenge you there. And some of us have that already. But here it is, we got to continue. Don't ever turn off as an educator. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Bell and Ms. Bowser, for pouring into all of us this morning. So just as a plug, we have very gifted and talented individuals in this room. There's no need to look for external folks to come in to pour into each of us. So if you have a gift or a talent that you want to share with us, just tell you, talk to Dr. Parker, talk to your principal, talk to myself, but we'd love to have you as part of our team so that we can share with each other.